Good day, everyone. You are welcome to the channel of Social Stitches and Styles, where we simplify how to cut. And today we are briefly going to run through how to cut a kaftan. A kaftan. So, and this not probably the regular one you've been seeing. As you can see, the cloth is folded into four places on the table compared to the probably the one you've this method you've known or you are used to. So this is folded into four places, and this method is always useful for chests, let's say chest 44 below. So but anything from 45, 46 above, then it means you have to cut the front and the back borders separately. But this very clothes is the chest is 43 and a half or thereabout. So that's it, and that's the measurement we are using. So the length is 33 stroke 37. It depends on how long you want your kaftan to be. Then the back is 16 and a half. The back is 16 and a half. The chest is 43 and a half. So the sleeve we are using three quarter sleeve. So the sleeve is 16 and a half. So that's it. So let's just follow the step keenly. So the first thing is to get we've divided the fabrics into four places. We've folded it into four places. So you have to know divide your chest or the body of the clothes you want to sew by four. So that's what I'm trying to get there. So I'm trying to divide 43 and a half to four. So, so after dividing it by four, so whatever you get, you're going to add like 2 inches to it. So I'm going to add like 2 inches to it, and that 2 inches is going to be for the seam allowance. So you have to make sure you iron as well so that the cloth can lay very well. So I'm trying to get my back measurements. And as I remember, I said the back of this cloth is 16 and a half. So if I 16 and a half to 2, so you have 18 1/4. Then you add half inch to it for the seam allowance. So that's what you have there. So what I'm trying to do on that part is to get the slope of the shoulder, and the slope is not always, most of the time it's not always the same. You know, the the slope of the shoulder is determined by how slopey the shoulder is. You know, for somebody that gym very well, you know that the shoulder will slope very well. So for somebody like that, you can use up to two three quarter. But for somebody that just have like normal shoulder, you can use two one quarter or two and a half, depends. So so this very one I'm using two and a half. So that's the hammer side. That's the hammer side. So I'm trying to measure the length of the clothes. And remember, the cloth is folded into four places. So you first of all get the actual length of the clothes. So assuming the length you are using is 34, you will mark 34. Then you will add the the back of the border is always longer than the front. So most of the time for an adult it's always 3 inches longer. So you measure that 3 inches, then you add another 3 inches for folding allowance, or 2 inches, depends on what you want to use. But most of the time I use 3 inches. So in total now we had 6 inches to the main measurement. And don't forget we are still cutting the two sides together, so don't go and do mistake. So the actual measurement plus additional 6 inches. So don't worry, you will still, don't be confused, just follow keenly the way we are doing. Then trim out the English mouth. You know, it's always good to cut that part, so it makes your clothes neat. You don't have to sew it with your clothes. So I'm separating the two sides now, front and back. So I'm separating it already. I'm separating it already. So you separate the back from the front. So and this is the part where you will remove the 3 inches that we added for both sides the other time. You know, don't forget that I told you that the back is always longer. So we are going to remove 3 inches from the front side. We are going to remove 3 inches. Don't worry, you will still see it when I'm removing mine. So that's it. I'm marking there. So I'm trying to remove 3 inches from the front. From the front. Uh, if you can see it now, I'm removing 3 inches from the front. So That's it. You can see the front is shorter than the back now. So you now you know, lay it by half an inch. So the back is going to be lay. You overlay the front by half an inch, half an inch. So use your iron to lay it very well. Use your iron to lay it very well. So this is my back side now, like the back area of the clothes. Don't forget that we are using 16 and a half for the back. So 16 and a half divided by 2 is 8 1/4 plus half an inch. So that's what I'm marking there. So for the for the armhole, for the armhole, we use 8. So whatever your back is, you know our back is 8, 16 and a half divided by 2, that's 8 1/4. So most of the time we use whatever we our back is, that's what we use for our armhole. So for an adult, it's always between 8 and a half, 9. It depends on how big the cloth is. So the back of this cloth is 16 and a half. 16 divided by 2 is 8 1/4. So we are using 8 for the armhole. You can see I just marked 8 there. Just marked 8 there. So I'm trying to get the chest area, the borders, three borders of the clothes. That's 43 and a half divided by 4. You know, that's almost 11. That's almost 11, like 10 3/4 there, about close to 11 inches. So 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 that's the 3 inches for folding allowance is what I just marked there. 3 inches for folding allowance. Then your slit. So the slit is 12. So meanwhile, the slit is determined by how long the cloth is. So if the length is 32, 33, your slit cannot be up to 12. So you can just make it 10 or 9. So for the length of this cloth is like 37. So first thing is to mark the folding for the down. That's 3 inches. Then 12 for the slit. So around the slit side now, I'm measuring my hip. My chest and my hip, they are the same. That's almost 11 inches. 43 and a half divided by 4. So that's my hip. Then my waist now, no, is around 10 and a half for my waist. The just want to give it small shape. You know, this is not female. The ladies' clothes that always have too much shape and all. This is a male clothes, but we most of the time we always give it just small shape. But there are some clothes that don't need this at all for people that have big belly. So you don't have to give it shape because the clothes might end up tightening them. So that's it. So that's the armhole. The armhole, the armhole is always curve, and there is a curve for this. If you have it, you can use it, but if you don't have it, what I did there is measuring the back, which is almost 8.5, 16.5 divided by 2 plus half inch. Then I measured my armhole, which is 8 inches. So then I rule it. So between my armhole and my back, I had to divide it by 2. You can see the the mark there. So that mark is what we determine after dividing it by 2. So I measured like 1 inch inside, 1 inch rather, to inside. So that curve that you are seeing around the armhole is 1 inch deep to the back and yeah, to the back area. So what I'm saying next is that your armhole is always like must come inside by 1 inches, 1 inch rather, 1 inch. So like this one, the back is 16 and a half. So we have to, the area I'm measuring is what I'm talking about now. It's coming by half an inch. Meanwhile, the depth of the armhole will be used to determine uh, our sleeve, you know, our sleeve. So the first thing to do in this side is to follow that straight line that we marked earlier on. You can see what I'm doing. We won't cut the core side for now. Just follow the straight line, cut it out. So that's for the back borders. So cut it and trim it very well. So try to cut it a little bit. So open the back, then now cut. So the arm or the front border is always deeper than the back borders. So you can see what I'm doing there. So the arm side of the front border is always deeper than the back. So I'm trying to get the neck here. Most of the time people always do 2.5 by 5 inches and all. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So I have what I use for my to determine my neck now. So I have a pattern for it. So I have pattern for 16, 16 and a half. I have pattern for 70 inches, 18 and 18 inches. So this very one I'm showing you is for 16, 16 and a half neck. So there's another one. So this was 16, 16 and a half neck. So maybe in subsequent series, I'm going to put us throughout to cut. So this is another one. This is for 17 inches, 18. This can work for 17 and 18 neck. The way I mark it. So I'm using 16, 16 and a half. You know the neck for this outfit is 16 and a half. So that's it. So and it's very easy to do actually. Just mark, find a paper to mark, just shape it in circular form, in circular form, and use your tape to get whatever the circle you've made, you know. Just you can cut a lot. You can do 15 inches, 16, 17, 18, and all like that. Just do like a circular shape, like a round shape. So there is no big deal there. So I folded it into two, then use it to mark my neck. So folded into two, then use it to mark my neck. So that's what I just did there. So so I'm cutting out the borders of my clothes. So I just added like an extra 1 inch, you know. That's it. So what I'm doing now is to cut the sleeve. And don't forget, I measured the armhole earlier on. I measured the armhole the earlier on. So that's what I'm going to use to determine the armhole of this sleeve. Your armhole, it must be the same. It must be the same. It must be the same. So you fold your fabric into four places, and you can see me measuring it to confirm. So I just measure like 11, but most of the time, yeah, I measure like 11. Now this is where we're going to remember. I said we measured the armhole earlier on, and what I measured is 11 and a half. So that's what you're going to use. So your armhole, what you are measuring on the sleeve must be 11 and a half too. So what you are measuring on the armhole. So on that side that I'm measuring, you measure 5 inches. That's where the curve is going to start from, 5 inches. Just curve it. And if you have the curve for sleeve, you can use it. So co- so and don't forget that earlier on the front border is a little bit deeper than the back, like it's 1 inch deeper. So we're going to actually observe that on this sleeve. We're going to observe it on this sleeve side. So we're just going to, after getting, the actual armhole is 11 and a half. So we're going to measure this armhole side. If it is 11 up to 11 and a half. And now what I'm doing is to cut like, you can see what I just cut, like half an inch from the upper part of the armhole. So half an inch. So that half an inch side is going to be sewn on the area of on the front borders, on the side of the front borders. So the deeper part of the sleeve is going to be around the deeper part of the borders. I hope you get what I'm saying. So, and the other side is going to be on the back borders. So, and the reason why we do all this is to avoid the wrinkle around the armhole and all that. So what causes that wrinkle most of the time is the sloping of the shoulder, then all these the armhole and all the likes. That's the hand circumference. And don't forget the sleeve is 3/4 sleeve, which is 16.5 inches. So the hand circumference is 14 inches. 14 inches. So after marking 14 inches, 14 inches divided by 2 is 7. So plus half an inch for seam allowance. So then you will add you mark the folding side of the sleeve. So and when marking, it must come out the way I mark mine, so that when you fold it, it's going to lay very well. So I'm trying to get our yoke. And there are various ways for cutting this yoke. So now if you can see what I'm doing, I left like 1.5 uh 1.5 space on the yoke. So there is a style I'm trying to form for that yoke. So but for somebody that is new, just don't do this type of yoke now. Maybe in subsequent series I'm going to teach us how to do that type of yoke. But if you want to cut your yoke, don't give it allowance the way I'm doing mine now. Just make sure your yoke is equal to the uh, borders of the clothes. So but don't leave allowance the way I'm leaving mine, because there is a style I'm trying to make, and you might not get it because this tutorial is just for cutting, not sewing is not included. So just cut, just just make the two sides to be equal. That's just it. So that's just about it. Kindly follow, subscribe to this channel if you've not done so. Help us to grow this channel, and like this video and click the bell so that you can see our new video whenever we upload new video. Thank you very much. See you soon.